New this afternoon, one state senator is threatening to defund libraries across the state if certain books aren't removed from the children's sections.
Fox Carolina's Anna Arender live in studio with more on the books in question.
Well, Tori, Justin, State Senator Josh Kimbrell says books like these right behind you are inappropriate for the ages that they're targeting. He says if they're not removed from the kids section, he will take action against the libraries.
We are not going to allow this kind of garbage to go unanswered in this state.
No censorship! No censorship!
Protesters lined the streets of downtown Spartanburg as State Senator Josh Kimbrell calls for the removal of several books found in children's sections across the state. Books like My Own Way, The Pronoun Book, and UBU.
I do not want tax money to be used to put this stuff in the hands of kids against their parents' wishes.
Kimbrell says they're falsely identified as educational, but that's not something all parents agree with.
This is our library too, and our library is inclusive, diverse, and loving, and we protect our children by making sure that they are learning about all people and all backgrounds and all socioeconomic statuses and all orientations. Josh Kimbrell is trying to ban books. That's banning freedom.
The director of the Spartanburg County Library says Kimbrell wrote a letter to him but never spoke to him in person. He says it's also important to him to make sure that books end up in the appropriate categories.
We want to make certain that families have access to materials that benefit their families or their communities, whatever it is, that we're there to be able to fill in that gap. Do we have materials that are too graphic? Well, I'm not going to say we don't, but we do need to take a look at that.
Since the start of the year, Stevens says he's only received 6 complaints about the gender identity books. He says anyone can file a complaint about a book. He says librarians take them seriously. They pull them from the shelves and review them. Well, this form right here is how people can fill out their complaints. They are located at the libraries. So, Tori, Justin, back to you.
Now, of course, a lot of questions about this story, Anna. How can someone raise concerns about a specific book if, a parent or even a child is concerned or doesn't like something they see?
Yeah, Tori, absolutely. If you do have concerns, again, this is just one way that you can fill out some complaints, but you can also talk to a librarian. They say that they are willing to help you kind of censor which way you would like to see, or which books you would like to see in the library. They have very specific categories. And also they added that sometimes, books do slip through the cracks. Librarians get hundreds of books all of the time, and so they try and review those books and make a best educated guess on where those books would belong in the library. And sometimes, admittedly, they say they get lost in the shuffle, so they do rely on people to see who see those books to report that to them and maybe make a suggestion as to where a better place for that book could be.
And real quick, you had mentioned where sometimes the books could be slipping through the cracks. As far as the process goes, how does that process unfold and play out when it comes to the library choosing what books to put inside?
Yeah, Justin, that's a great question too. I mean, like I said, librarians get books all the time, and so they kind of choose from a list and make a best educated guess based on maybe a short write-up of that book, and that's when they choose the book. Sometimes when they are ordered, though, they say that's not really the book they thought it would be, or it comes in and it's not exactly as they thought it was described as. So again, they have to make that choice as to where to put those books, and sometimes, mistakes do happen, or there is a better suggestion for where a book could be better placed.